Global News Radio headlines on the way, but before we get into all those, we throw it back over to Alex Carrigan. He has the traffic hotspot.
We got so much stuff on the way. All right.
I know, it's a full smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord. I love it. Yeah.
Almost didn't get that word out.
It is a beautiful day out there. Let's put my sunglasses down. Make sure that you have your sunglasses on, your sun visors, everything. Driving to conditions, of course. Right now.
That's an easy one. I'm Alex Carrigan.
All right. And so, Alex, where were you born?
I was born here. Well, not necessarily here, but I was born in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia, Surrey, BC. I guess specifically Ocean Park. Born and pretty much raised out here. Did a little bit of traveling thanks to, the job that we're going to get into in a little bit, but this is pretty much home base right now. I guess my official job title would be traffic anchor with AM730. It's a radio station that's owned by Chorus Entertainment, and our main prerogative is all traffic all the time. Vancouver is a city that drives, and it can get very, very congested. So we offer a service that helps people get around the Lower Mainland. We tell people about construction on some of the main routes, construction on some of the non-main routes, and anytime there's an accident, a stall, collision, maybe a police incident, people call into the station and they tell us what's going on, and then we send that information right back out.
It's currently 145 degrees outside. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful Monday. And a happy family day to you, Lower Mainland. You're listening to AM 730, all traffic, all the time. My name is Alexander Carrigan, and we're about to find out what's happening on the ferries and the borders, bridges and the tunnels. Speaking of a beautiful day, we'll do that global sky tracker weather forecast past Valentine's Day is what I was trying to say. First things first, though, how about we find out what's going on with the AM 730 traffic hotspots, the one, the only, the Robin Crawford.
It's a fun little job. I mean, that is not the only thing I do, though. I also do hockey broadcasting for the Pacific Junior Hockey League's Surrey Knights. And essentially from September to about February, typically the second week of February, every Thursday I'm at North Surrey Rec, and I do a broadcast for playfullscreen.com from 7:30 to about 10 o'clock at night. That's a lot of fun. And I also work for a podcast. I work for toddhancock.ca. A lot of that right now is social media marketing. I used to write a lot for his website, but kind of scaled that back.
85% sold, 8:15, 70% sold. Departure Bay to Horseshoe Bay's 1 p.m. is completely sold out, and the 3:20 and 5:55 are both hovering around 45%. Out of Horseshoe Bay?
In a word, perseverance. Because I graduated BCIT's radio program in 2014. And I didn't really get my big break, so to speak, until 2015, about a year after I graduated. Radio's very competitive, and one of the things that, even if you don't know a lot about radio, you know that it's a good job to have, and you know that it's a fun job. So everybody wants to do it, and everybody who comes out of radio broadcast school, we're all applying for the same jobs. Like, I know a lot of the people who are applying for these jobs, and every so often, if I'm applying for one and I see somebody who doesn't, or I see the person who did get it, I'll know them. Be like, hey, I worked with that guy. Or, oh, hey, it's her. I went to school with her. So we're all really trying to get into the same job. So through perseverance and just through hard work, I got my first kind of job. And I guess to start even before then, back in high school, I had a pretty good guidance counselor, to be honest. She used to tell me that I had a very deep voice, and I was always in the office because I was making some joke, and the teacher wanted to get me out of there, and it was suggested that I try radio out, so I did, and it just kind of hit. I got to talk about things that were interesting to me, and people kept telling me I have a deep voice, and you sound pretty good, so yeah, people like hearing me, so
yeah,
it's worked out, and I mean, I still can't believe that I do this for a living. You sit down and you talk and people call in, and it's kind of surreal.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to AM 730, all traffic, all the time. It is afternoon. It's about 2 minutes after 1, 5 degrees. I'm Alex Carrigan. Happy Family Day.
Whew. Okay, let's go with jobs first because there's kind of a long list there. I I've been a weekend announcer, I've been a morning announcer, I've been an afternoon and an evening announcer, pretty much every time slot that's on there. And in terms of being an announcer, a lot of it is taking information that is important, taking it down into very digestible chunks to send out over the airwaves and to send over to people, whether that's a cool interview that happened, a little anecdote, the fact that it's National Chocolate Chip Day, or anything to that regard. The information changes from time to time, but how you send it out is pretty much just getting it to the base form and getting it out there. I've done copywriting, I've wrote commercials, I've voiced commercials, I have produced my own commercials. I didn't have the official title, but when I was at Q101 and up in Merritt, I like to think of myself as an assistant music director, because the actual music director was my roommate, so I had a bit of influence over what got into the station. Sports broadcasting, I've done on-set producing, on-location interviews, on-location broadcasts, traffic reporting. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about radio, is you really are in an industry where you get to do a lot of cool different things, and if you happen to hit on something that you didn't think you were going to like say you were an on-air producer for the whole time, and then someone gets you to produce a show and you go, this is cool, there's an avenue for you to start doing that full-time too. But you don't know it unless you start doing it, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, is radio gets you to do a lot.
Thank you very much, Robin. Let's find out what else is going on in the Lower Mainland. AM730's Bridge Anton on a report. As we do, we start this one in the downtown core.
One, it's harder than people tend to think. You just think, oh yeah, you just go up there and you talk, you just blab about whatever, and there is a lot of thought that goes into what to talk about and what to send out, and of course there's a heavy vetting process with just making sure that the right people get on air, and not getting somebody who's going to get impulsive and fly off the handle. It's also a lot lonelier than people think. Like, this is a desk job. You're sitting in front of a microphone for 6-8 hours at a time. I guess 6 is kind of the standard, but a lot of people work 8-10 hour shifts. But unless you're working with a co-anchor, a producer, something like that, and right now I'm in a habit of doing a lot of not overnight, but 4 p.m. to midnight kind of shifts. It gets awfully lonely. If no one calls in, you're alone in there. So that's one thing that people don't really understand about that. But that never takes away from how fun the job is. It's just something that comes with the job that you got to know about too. But it is a lot of fun to get. It's a lot of fun to be a radio announcer, but there are things that come with it that some people don't really think of right away.
Thank you very much, Robin. Time to check in with what's going on at the AM730 Traffic Center. It's brought to you by Alpine Credits, and it is most certainly Trish Jewison.
I remember when I first got into this job, I didn't really want to pigeonhole myself into too much. And I think for the most part I still don't, but I'll just go with that. I still don't really want to pigeonhole myself. Because when I first started out, I knew that radio was kind of one of those avenues that you could jump into a lot of different things and do a lot of different things. Although I like being on air, I know that the future's weird. You could end up a lot of different places. The hockey broadcasting's going well, on-air broadcasting's going well. I want to... and another thing is I'm a bit of a simple guy. Give me a small house, a TV that works, internet connection, I'll be good for years. But I wouldn't mind doing some music radio, because I was in music radio. I'm out of that now, doing a bit of talk radio. I wouldn't mind doing some talk radio as well. There's a brand new show on at CKNW, Global News Radio, The Shift with Drex. And Drex is a fantastic radio performer, but listening to his show just makes me think, like, hey, you know what? Talk radio is pretty cool. Like, this is the kind of show that I can see myself, well, certainly I listen to it because I'm there at the time.
Yeah.
I'd love to do more with hockey broadcasting. Maybe getting on to back into the BCHL, into the WHL. Love to do something with that. Football broadcasting. It's tough to say. I do have some specific goals, but I don't know which one's going to come first. And I just want to see where it happens. I just want to go for it and see where the opportunities take me.
AM730, all traffic, all the time.
This is AM730, Vancouver's traffic and information station with the most up-to-date traffic in Metro Vancouver.